Priestess with Pamela Eakins. Chapter 7, Alilat, the Old Testament. The Red Sea, 967 B.C. Throughout the revelations of lifetimes in which I felt personally involved, lifetimes that took place millennia before the 20th century, I began to see history in a new way, to experience it in my soul. I began to see myself as a member and a product of the great long pilgrimage of humanity through time. All the way, it felt as if triumph and pain had found a home in my spirit, created the nature of the woman I am today. Upon viewing the life of Mary Totten, I felt compelled to ask, was Akhenaten's monotheism the ruin of women? I had indeed espoused this perspective, the contemporary feminist perspective, before the visions were revealed to me. After meditating, I cannot say I believe Pharaoh intended to desecrate the sacred feminine. It seems to me he was a lofty idealist who espoused the philosophical principle that the many gods and goddesses are all aspects of one sacred life, a life neither male nor female, a life that each of us contains just as we are contained by it. His formula might be viewed as one that heals, a formula for tolerance, a formula that opens the omniscient eye of wisdom to new dimensions of seeing. I do not believe Akhenaten intended to ruin women, but his idea of one overarching spiritual entity may have laid the groundwork for woman's fall from the inner sanctum as, over time, the idea of one God became associated with a male godhead. A few hundred years after Akhenaten's reign, the desert people, competing for scarce resources, began bloody battles in the name of tribal gods. These were holy wars. Gods and goddesses stood in command of armies, and it was said the strongest god or goddess would prevail. It was felt that only when one god reigned would peace come to the land. In my next meditation, Riavek took me into the legacy of Kings David and Solomon of the Old Testament, a period that took place about 1,000 years before the birth of Jesus. King David, David means commander, was a powerful warrior who brutally conquered the tribes of Israel and Judah. He defeated the Philistines, Moab, Aram, Amalek, Zobah, Ammon, the Arameans of Damascus, and the Valley of Salt, Beta, Berothai, and Hamath. He fought in the name of his God, a jealous, omnipotent male. He claimed territory for this god and believed that all competing gods and their representatives must be cast asunder, burned as in a fiery oven. His son, Solomon, whose name means son and peace, inherited the throne of Israel. It came to pass that, unlike his father, the son of David loved and exalted women, and women loved him. He exalted local tribal goddesses. He exalted the sacred feminine. The large temple he built was filled with sensual imagery, celebrating the sexual union of women and men. In the hills, he built shrines for the goddesses of the women and the tribes his father had conquered: the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. He made a high, holy place for Ashtoreth, Hebrew for Astarte, the Mesopotamian descendant of Queen Inanna. He wrote the Song of Songs, the best-known love poem of all time. Chroniclers say that King Solomon's attention to feminine divinity angered the god for whom his father, the great commander, had shed so much blood. According to the Bible, the jealous deity said unto Solomon, "Because you have done this, and you have not kept my statutes, which I have commanded you, I will surely tear the kingdom from you." From the time of that edict on, the great and ancient Mother Goddess, with all her names and representations, was officially banished. Yet it took 1,000 years and the solidification of Western civilization to break her resilient spirit and force her underground. On the third day of my visionary quest above the ocean, I lit a new white candle, breathed deeply to clear my mind, and called out silently for Riavek to come and guide my meditation. Riavek came gently in the midst of golden rays and opened the velvet veil onto a scene by the side of the Red Sea. I saw a young woman, wealthy, powerful, and beautiful, and I knew she was from the rich spice gardens of Sheba. Her tribe traded with the north, and when she came of age, she went with the caravan willingly to meet the legendary king who controlled the passages of the northern routes. I moved into the story as if I were the young woman herself, and herein is the tale as I transcribed it. Sensuous night, sultry, sandy, the land's rolling breasts slope down to lapping sea, foaming in cool warmth at the edges as I sway side to side, feeling the rhythmic pulse of the loping camel against my thighs. We move as one. I am hypnotized by the swaying rhythm. It moves my hips like the swaying dance I have learned since I was a baby, the dance that tells the story of my tribe for 10 generations. Pounded silver bells tinkle across my belly, around my ankles, about the neck, ears, and forehead of the camel, and all across the exquisitely patterned blanket. Bells sewn like stars in the lapis sky tell the story of the soul as it passes from birth to death in the sensual cycle of Alilat, the Great Mother. Sensuous and sultry rhythms, the body moves, the hands and arms want to dance, the fingers want to form flowers, burst open like spring blossoms popping on the vines. Oh, oh my goddess Alilat, how beautiful is thy glory as thou danceth thy rhythms upon thy lands. Sensuous night, sultry night, new moon, blood moon, golden orange, crescent, horned silver, rich as the copper on the east bank, tilts sideways and floats like a chalice dipping into the sea of reeds. Sister moon, mother moon, goddess moon, you are a chalice filled with essence of night and love, the sweet perfume of jasmine dripping frankincense, honey in the stamen of the scarlet lily. Ooh, the night. The night sings a chant, veiled in translucent blackness, sheer as the breeze. Oh, loose weave of evening. I feel the camel's form. I feel the moon sizzle, touching the top of the waters. I feel the sea's wetness. My barefoot brushes the bristles of the beast. I feel my womb's blood flow out on the camel cushion. I feel clots flow from the sea of this body, the same clots that made woman and man and the world. And I am thankful a lot for this paradise that is now. I am thankful that I am now a woman. I reach beneath my loose dressings, flowing veils of red and green and purple, draping over the camel's back, lifting in the winds. I reach in the sacred gate, coating my fingers with blood, and I taste this blood with my tongue, and with blood I smear my face and hands, feeling primal and beautiful on the eastern shore incense trail of the Red Sea. I draw the sticks from the bag at the back of my blanket, smear them too with the blood of life, the blessing of womanhood, and begin to clack out a rhythm that matches the camel's gait. The moon is a chalice setting on the sea. The moon is a chalice setting on the sea. Brother, sun, my love, calls to me. Through the moon, a golden chalice setting on the sea. The moon is a chalice setting on the sea. The moon is a chalice setting on the sea. Brother, sun, my love, calls to me. Through the moon, a golden chalice setting on the sea. Zuleika, woman of wisdom, I hear you calling. I hear you calling from my childhood and from the lands of the north. Zuleika, daughter of our tribe, called Bathsheba by your new people, how the camel sways beneath me, how the caravan's drummers pick up the rhythm, singing and playing to the camel's gait on the road to Jerusalem. Zuleika, mother of Jerusalem, how I have waited low these long, many years until I would reach the 14th year beyond my birth and I could come to you, Zuleika, daughter of my tribe, celebrated priestess of the crescent horn chalice moon, goddess woman of my mother. Oh, Zuleika, this is my time. Alilat, they call me, and I sing to myself, sing and sob and sigh. You ride the camel to Jerusalem. You're a woman now. Your blood flows on the camel's back. You are a priestess and a songstress and an heiress from a tribe of wealth and fame and generosity. Alilat, living image of Alat. You are in your power with 20 camels carrying 13 talents of silver formed into cups and plates and diadems to please the Egyptians. 44 talents of frankincense rolled into sticks and balls for the priestess women of Sinai. 37 talents of cut leaves, fresh, pressed flat in bags of sackcloth and riding on 7 camels for the men of Beersheba. Lucky camels, 850 miles, 3 and 30 days of a light load you bear. Oh, but the last 300 miles will be strenuous. We shall trade silver and spices and precious stones for gold at Alilat. We shall carry 120 talents of gold into Jerusalem, where silver is abundant. Beyond that, strung together, 100 camels will be given for breeding. Oh, but my tribe is shrewd, and the cot is practically weightless. How they love to chew it in the delta. Alilat, they call you a lucky girl, and so I am, bound for the Northlands at the bidding of Zuleika, she who has placed her son, the one called Rising Sun, Ishraq, Prince of Peace, Man of Rest, King Solomon, upon the throne of Jerusalem. And I, the woman of Sheba, whom the Hebrews call Queen, woman among women, ride by night to meet this magical lover of women, Prince of Peace. I am ready. Bless the beauty of man and woman carrying the magical song of love. Solomon, will you love me? Solomon, will I please you? Will I teach you the secrets of fecundity that have been taught to me in the rich tents of my land? You said, join me in my seat, Queen of Sheba. And I sent to you a graven ivory throne painted with winged deities making love beneath the very pillars you drew as the gateway to your temple. Pillars topped with pomegranates and rings of lilies and lotus flowers that could only mean the gate of Alilat is open, that could only mean you invite me to share the red love mystery with you. Man and woman need only one language, King Solomon, and that is the language of love. Oh, great blessings of the goddess! You sent me these pictures and your sweet song of love by way of Zuleika's messenger, and I sent you acceptance. The throne painted in oxblood and ochre, dripping with the feast of the senses and the celebration of life. Zuleika has blessed me. My mother has blessed me. Alilat has blessed me. Oh, night of nights. Oh, animals and plants. The dog star shines and moves from east to west. Shine bright, burning one. Shine bright as my heart shines. Burn bright as my heart beats, pulsing, pulsing with love. I drink wine from the bladder, packed by my goddess mother, gladdened to ride alone, glad to be old enough to have my own camel, glad to be young enough to be protected, surrounded by a caravan of men and women with honor and respect. They respect me and lead me to my dreams. I find a new rhythm and clack again the sticks. My song is deep and earthy from the bottom of my throat. I sing so no one can hear. Kiss me with your mouth. Your kiss is better than wine. Your oils are rich. Your name flows like light. Rejoice and be glad. The maidens love you more than wine. Your queen of Sheba comes, Alilat comes, and rightly does she love you. I am dark as winter night, and comely and lovely, my veils flow like wine, honey, honey, wine. My blood flows like wine, honey, honey, wine. I am light darkened, beauty of my tribe. Beauty of my tribe. Oh, Zuleika, I trust that you have not lied to me, that he is handsome as the gods of springtime, handsome as the night is long. It is dawn. The morning feels warm. Saba, the head driver, halts the caravan and instructs the younger ones to gather, shows them how to tie the camels carefully, securing each one. Unruly beasts they are. They will run for half a day to get a scrawny thorn bush they remember somewhere in the desert. They have no feelings, maybe anger. They whine like babies. They spit in your face if they don't like your look, and they'll bite you even while you are riding them. It is interesting that in the language of those beyond the northern crossroads of the caravan routes, the word for priestess and the word for camel is the same word. Do priestesses have no feelings? Am I not alive with love? Would I spit in the face of my beloved? Would I whine like an infant? I am full with love, and yet it does seem to me that love is like water, and that I have gone a lifetime without it. Oh, moon over the sea, will my longing for love be sated? Alilat, rush me to love. A boy runs forth and takes my reins. My camel kneels down among a great ado of tinkling bells and clanking. I get down, and for a moment my legs are so stiff they will not move, the muscles having been molded like clay to the shape of the camel's body. But then I gain myself again and run as fast as I can, rushing to the sea. I run into the sea in my veils and robes, splash in the cool water of the inlet, dive down among the fishes, and feel my clothes and my braids like a trail behind a shooting star streaming out behind me as I twirl weightless off the shore. Beneath the water are many rocks hiding strange creatures. I dive down to look, but fear I might tear my veils or I might catch on the reef, so I stand among the gentle waves close to shore. I peel off each wet layer, wash it gently in the sea, and place it on rocks to dry beneath the rising sun. I stand naked then in the water, naked save for the 10 strands of gleaming white pearls I wear about my neck. The water laps all about my waist, and I dive deep and swim among the fishes. Oh, beauteous life! I tumble underwater, I sing underwater, and bubbles and funny sounds come out of my mouth. It sounds so funny I laugh. I laugh as loud as I can in the sea. So amused am I at myself and all that is. I tumble and twirl beneath the surface, poking through the blue-gray layers, looking up to see the sun in the sky, the flat disk widening in concentric circles of light on the rippling plain at the top of the pool. Great bounty, my people collect oysters and fish. Down the beach, they are stirring grain in a pot of seawater, pouring spices in another pot where they will steam open shells. This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. The foothills slope gently down to the sea. All along there are trees and shrubs and bushes for the camels to eat. The cove rocks gently, enclosed by a coral reef that breaks the power of the open water. My heart dances, my heart sings. Cliffs rise out of the water at the far end. The sand is as white as I have ever seen. The water, gray, red, violet, when we came, becomes lapis, then malachite blue as the sun moves higher. Then it is clear aqua, and you can see animals through the reflective stillness. On the beach, my woman wraps me in warm red linen and bids me sit on a menstrual cloth she has prepared. She loosens my braids and brushes my hair as she has brushed it 1,000 times. She rebraids it in countless strands, weaving in ribbons of red silk from across the desert as she has done 1,000 times. I do not speak. She sings a little, humming and making up words, singing of when I was young, of when my mother bore me, of my first camel ride, of the birth of my brothers, of our trip to Jerusalem. She does not sing the song of the generations. Her songs are not serious, but light-hearted memories. She laughs as she sings. She, too, is happy. Ano, too, has waited 14 years to make this journey. She finishes my hair and gives me the sacred cloth to pin between my legs. I am so proud of my womanhood. So recently has the mystery come upon me, and she too is proud. I asked to do her hair. No, she says, and lithe and youthful, she jumps up and runs down the beach. I chase her for a bit, and then we both stop laughing. We have no more breath in our lungs. We pant like lions and fall on the ground laughing. Beautiful Ano, your soft round face is a vision of peace and beauty. Your loving eyes, lined with black coal and powdered lapis, are hypnotic and enveloping. The lines around your mouth tell of years of song and good humor. Ano says, we must thank the spirit of this land and the goddess at the edge of the world who guides and protects us. We build an altar in the sand. making a circle of tumbled sea stones and filling it with offerings of shells and feathers. She says, we must leave something of ourselves, make sacrifice to the spirit of this land, she who feeds us and keeps us in such harmonious beauty. Ano unties the thong of her necklace of amulets. She removes an amulet for the goddess of this cove and places it upon a rock in the midst of our altar. Then she leaves me alone, going away to the place of eating. I find a sharp shell recently broken and saw off a lock of my hair. So moved am I by the luxury of living. I place the braid beside the amulet of Ano, and in my mind I hear the voice of the cove spirit speaking. She says, Alilat, is there no more you would give to me? I am exalted and frightened on hearing this voice. I am startled and wondering, who calls? I fall to my knees in the sand, bow my head, and raise my arms in supplication. I bow to the ground in reverence for the terror and beauty of life. The Spirit asks, would you not sacrifice to me your fear, Alilat, your doubt, your terror of the northern tribes? Would you not leave your worry and your longing for your mother here upon my beach? Would you not open your hands and pour these things out to me, that I may carry them away at high tide and purify their essence? Would you not let me turn your fear to courage, doubt to will, worry to strength, longing to faith? Such thoughts had never occurred to me, but I felt the wisdom of this place. I felt tension flow out of me, tension for fear of the riches we carried and the supplication we may have to give to the gods of the northern tribes in order to preserve our lives. I felt the tension flow out of my form, and I felt a new kind of strength enter. Faith filled my soul, poured in through open channels. And at that moment, I stopped bleeding. I actually felt my blood flow cease. She said, sacrifice to me your fear, and as a gift, I will stop your blood flow, for it is not time for you to conceive a child, but it is time for you to know the mystery of love. Feel your freedom, Alilat. Love, love. Pay homage to me, and I shall guide your loving. Listen to this, Alilat. When you wish to conceive, you need only petition me. I shall start your blood flow, and 13 days later, you will be ripe as an open hibiscus flower. So may you control the miracle of life. This is in your power, Alilat, as a woman of wisdom. I felt the power of her words sink into my heart. I answered, what is your name, spirit of this cove, goddess of this sea? What is your name, powerful one? And I shall pay homage to you as the goddess of love and mistress of the miracle of life forever. She said, I am your own Alat. I have been with you from the beginning and shall be with you for all time. You have found my secret name, love. My secret name is love. My name is beneficence. My name is charity and faith and hope. All these are love. And now that you travel, you see I am not of the tribe of the south alone. There is one goddess, one lady of life, and her name is love. They call me by 1,000 names, by Al, Uzu, and Manat, but my one true name is love. Essence of the beating heart, of the sea and shore and sky, of all the creatures, even camels. Alilat, go now. They call you to eat. Open your oyster, and you will see hidden beneath her flesh a great and shining black pearl. This is like the pearl you carry in the velvet pouch of your body, the pearl by the sacred gate. You will remember me when you think of this pearl. Now, go and eat, for they call you, and the food is ready. When I opened my oyster, I found beneath her flesh a black pearl, shining with such luminescence as I have ever seen. I slipped it into the little pouch that hangs at my side, and from that moment on, my life was changed. Of the 2,000 initiations of the sacred path, my people activate 4. The first is the red love mystery. This is where the priestess loves a man and experiences the opening of the sacred gate. The sacred gate is the gate of life, and everyone knows that while the body of the priestess is a holy vessel, it takes the act of red love to enliven the starseed of the plane of creation completed. The second mystery is called transformation. It is the place where the priestess learns to change blood into light. This initiation takes place over months or years, and during the rites of teaching, the priestess learns to transform her woman blood. Turning woman blood into white light signifies that a sacred child will be born. The child will be called enlightened, full with light. It is said that the 2 eyes of the child will see as one, seeing only divinity in all directions. The enlightened child is full with reverence, full with gratitude, and marked sacred in the eyes of the people. The enlightened child has an aura of gold and silver flames and is filled with the passion of love and life and ecstatic being. The third mystery is the initiation of water. I have wondered much about this mystery. I have been in the water and floated, but I have never felt more than flotation. Do they really walk on water? I have a vague memory, perhaps of a dream, of seeing an old man, a man not of my people, I think, walk across the top of a sea during the red tide. I remember him in white robes, tied with red cords. I remember him in dark leather sandals, laced up his calves as he walked on the sea's surface. This seems such a strange mystery. They say it has to do with belief. They say it is not walking on water itself that is the mystery. They say walking on water proves nothing, signifies nothing. The important thing is understanding the mystery of possibility and believing in possibility. I believe in possibility, but I cannot walk on water. The last mystery is called the initiation of saving the hopeless. Anno told me that this is the highest of all initiations. It is as if you have seen a person buried alive, and there is so much sand on top of this person that you feel no matter how fast you dig, you will never be able to save her, that she will be dead from fear, confinement, and asphyxiation. And it is as if you hope and believe she has a small pocket of air, and you pray to her to know you are coming, even though you believe she cannot hear you. And you dig and dig and dig. It is as if, she says, the sand is light and dry and loose like the sands by the sea, and it falls away quickly. But there is so much of it, you feel you will never get through. Anno says you dig and dig and dig. You dig past your own fear, past your anger at having to do it all yourself, past your anxiety of not knowing whether the person is alive. You dig past your feelings of wanting to give up until the only thing left to do is to accomplish the task as fast as you can, with no thought for yourself, only thinking of the other, while all the time your heart is calling, "Don't give up, don't give up, I'm coming, I'm coming. This is what it means to save the hopeless. They call this also the initiation of fire because the person does not even know you are trying to save her life. Her life is the spark. Your will is fire. Fire is the will to life itself. The trapped one is caught by loneliness, fear, resignation, and despair. You must escape your own fear of failing. So in the end, the one who helps and the one who is helped both cross the threshold of the mystery of fire. Ano says this is the highest of the initiations she knows about. It is deeper than the mystery of water. Ano says there are 2,000 initiations in all, but that not everyone goes through all of the levels. Some might skip 1,000 mysteries if that is what is fated. These initiations seem strange to me, but then I have not even been through the first. I wonder if I will walk on water or turn blood into light. Ano says, all things in their own time. She says I must now understand how the camel and the priestess are related, and only then will I be able to safely cross the threshold of the mystery of red love. I wonder what could be unsafe about loving. Oh, Alilat, my spirit dances in anticipation. On the 18th day of the journey, I am weary. The desert sun beats down upon our caravan. We are weary, but thankful that there have been no demands or attacks from the middle tribes, and that we have traveled thus far in safety, all along the well-worn East Shore Trail. But Baba is worried, and the camels are stepping strangely. Some are stopping, and we must beat them to move on. The wind is picking up, the bells are tinkling all through the caravan, and sand drifts in the place where the route has turned inland. I think Baba feels the trail may be lost. I do not know what he fears, but I can feel his trepidation, even from my place upon the 9th camel back. I pull a veil over my nose and mouth and slit my eyes so the sand will not blow in, and I trust the camel to be my ship across the desert. My camel stops suddenly, and with my eyes clamped shut, I automatically begin to beat it blindly with the stick I keep attached to the blanket. Blindly, I beat my camel, but the camel does not move. Abu, the boy, rides alongside me and hits my camel with his stick, but my camel will not move. His camel, too, stops then, and beyond our control, both camels turn to face the wind. However we beat them, they will not move. Squinting my eyes, I see all the camels are stopping. All the camels of the caravan kneel down one by one, sealing their eyes and mouths and noses, and stretching their bony heads into the wind. The winds are rising, the sands are blowing, and Abu yells something to me. I cannot hear him. Then I hear, "Get down against the camel and cover yourself." And it is Baba yelling to everyone in the caravan. Now all the camels are on the ground. I have heard about this thing. I've heard about this thing happening. I can see people around me securing things, and I feel to see if my pouch is still at my side. It is there, and I tighten the knot. Even tightening the knot is difficult. The sand is piling against the camel's side. I pull my robes in around me and lean forward on the camel. I lean into the wind. My heart pounds with fear. I want to be with my mother. I want her to wrap me in blankets as she did when I was a child. But she is not here for me now. I am with the caravan now, but I cannot see them. I have the sinking thought that each one of us is alone. I pull in my robes, gathering them all about me, tucking them under, making them like a tent to block the screaming sands and loose debris of the desert. I am so scared that my legs begin to shake, and suddenly I feel myself falling asleep, and I am glad, for I would rather die sleeping. I dream the sun is glinting off the ocean. The sky opens up and a man's voice booms out, "You shall not allow a priestess to live." I wake up then as suddenly as I drifted away. I am so frightened, my stomach is in a knot. The sand is screaming all around me. Bells ring violently. The sand screams, but I can still breathe. I say to myself, I will not panic. The only thing I can do is to be calm. I am wishing for my prayer beads. And now it comes to me, I left them carelessly at my mother's tent, glad that I would no longer be forced into chants at my mother's discretion. I feel for the white pearls at my neck. I take one between my thumb and finger and I begin the chant, Hail, Alilat, Mother of Form, blessed art thou amongst women. Blessed is thy mystery of turning blood to light. Blessed is thy creation, and graced is the fruit of thy womb, life. I hold the next pearl. Hail, Alilat, Mother of Form, blessed art thou among women. Blessed is thy mystery of turning blood to light. Blessed is thy creation, and graced is the fruit of thy womb, life. I repeat this mantra perhaps 9 times, hoping it will bring me a sense of serenity, the calmness that comes when one taps into things of tradition. But I find I do not grow peaceful. Rather, beneath the chanting, a memory begins to surface. This memory enlarges itself until it becomes the only thing in my spirit. It enlarges itself as the sand piles higher up my legs. It grows and grows until I feel there is no hope in living. I remember a story I heard as a child, a story that was not meant for my ears, but it was told to my mother by visitors in her tent while it was supposed I was sleeping. I did not sleep much when visitors were about. I remember the guests were anxious, even though my mother had given them dates and her finest coffee. They spoke of David, the northern commander, the one who had killed the lover of the daughter of our tribe, Zuleika, the one they called Bathsheba. He killed her lover, his own man, so he might possess her himself. They told how David, obsessed with Bathsheba, so taken was he by her beauty and teachings, and how he willfully took her into his possession as if he could control the mystery of red love. They told how the people loved her, for she was a priestess who knew the mysteries of truth untold in Jerusalem. She taught the priesthood about the initiations of love, transformation, water, and fire, and the commander was jealous. They told how he called upon the people to enact the law of Moses. That law, according to the king, said, "Smash the sacred pillars." These ancient pillars celebrate the first mystery, the red love mystery, the eternal connection that generates life. So angry was he, they said, that he could not possess love, that he chose to try to kill it, just as he had killed to acquire love in the first place. They told also how he had taken the sacred teachings of our tribe, what he learned from Zuleika, and put them into song. These songs he claimed as his own, as if one could own a song of Alat. They said he took Zuleika's prayer beads and burned them on her altar, that he smashed her images of Alat, along with the images of all the northern goddesses, the mothers of Asher, Aster, Mari, and the settlements to the east of the northern sea. that he burned Zuleika's shrine, and that, mad with lust for blood, he cruelly killed a multitude by the blades of his army, all in the name of the God he carved out of the mind stuff of self-consciousness. I remember this tale as I huddle close to the body of the beast. I am glad I do not carry prayer beads or images. This memory does not comfort me. I clutch my pearls and feel disguised. These pearls, they will be my prayer beads. I begin to repeat. Hail, Alilat, Mother of Form, blessed art thou amongst women. Blessed is thy mystery of turning blood to light. Blessed is thy creation, and grace is the fruit of thy womb, life. I know not how much time passed as I chanted this mantra of my people. I seemed to fall in and out of consciousness, alternating between peace and fear and peace. During one moment, I awoke with the words Mother of Form hanging upon my lips, and the same voice I heard at the ocean pool began to speak to me again. Do you see how now, little sister, why trial by fire is the highest initiation? Do you feel the heat of the desert? Do you feel yourself being buried alive? Do you feel the cold death held in the heat? How life contains death, how death contains life? Do you feel your hope fading? The uselessness of your happy ways? The profundity of your ignorance? Do you know, little sister, that I am with you? Do you know why the pearl I gave you is black? This is your lesson, little one. Hear me. You can love so much that it turns to hate. You can hate so much that it turns to love. You can go so far into life that it becomes death, so far into light that it becomes dark. In death, you find life. In darkness, flame. Feel the lightness of the desert close in around you. Feel how the burning sand encases you in darkness. Feel how David loved Zuleika so much that he killed for her. And then, when he could not possess her love, for a priestess is free, how his love became jealous and hateful, so hateful that he tried to kill her heart by smashing the image of her heart. And what was the image of her heart but an image of me? And what am I but the soul of her own divinity? Feel how he hated her lover, Uriah, so much that he deceived him and had him killed in battle, even as Uriah was defending David's own life. Feel how David had so much remorse that his hate for Uriah became penitential love, and his love for Zuleika became a villainous mass of hatred until, after years and years of confusion, David went mad with the contradictions he created. This is your lesson, Alilat. Hear it and weep, weep and gain wisdom. For freed is she who moves through death to life, through life to death. Strong is she who knows that the name of life and life itself are not the same thing. Courageous is she who knows that death and what they tell of life are two different beasts. Know the source of the fire mystery, little one, the mystery of saving the hopeless, and you will gain the powers of Zuleika, a great woman of wisdom. I know not how long I lay in deathly sleep in the desert, but when I awoke, the needling, screaming whine of the sandstorm had ceased, and the whole caravan was coming to as camels shook themselves out of small mountains. The road was easily recovered as the stable markers were clear and known to Baba, who left small tide offerings like little gift packages at each outcropping of limestone to honor the spirits of the lands through which we passed. After 36 days of travel, we reached the right fork at the crossroads of the caravan routes where traders from Amarna had been camped and waiting for 3 days, their boats moored at the inlet, waiting to gain the stores our caravan brought from the edge of the world. The transactions went well, better than planned, said Baba, and 9 unhappy camels, whining and spitting, were draped with the gold bars we would carry on the 10-night ride to Jerusalem. After one night's ride, our caravan stopped again and made camp. We set up tents and laid the carpets. We got out the sticks, tambourines, and drums, and laid a huge feast of local delicacies. We drank Egyptian beer, and we danced and drank and screamed and howled all through a night and a day. So great had our good fortune been. Oh, was I in my element. The trip had been hard, but now only 9 more days until we reached the north. I twirled and danced, clanging my finger cymbals. I danced the dance of the 10 generations, from the time the first family of camels had been apprehended, wandering in the desert. I danced the story of the garden and the first woman and man formed from clots of the woman's blood of Alilat. I danced the serpent that crawled into the man's foot and raised up his penis and then connected him to the woman in ecstatic rapture as they experienced the mystery of red love. I danced the birth of first child, the divine one, the sacred being whose halo flowed out like silver and gold flames. I danced how my tribe came into being and gained its riches. I sang the song of the tribal mothers while the drummers clapped the beat. Honor to the mother who births the holy child. Honor to the child who rides upon the wind. Honor to the wind who dances in the desert. Honor to the desert who tumbles to the sea. Honor to the sea who is eternity. Honor to the sea who is eternity. It became dark. The moon, coming into its fullness, rose up in the eastern sky. This was an auspicious time for us to celebrate. There was one moment late in the evening when the music and the song and the feasting died down and my people sat by the fire watching the flames. I watched the flames. I watched them lick and caress the wood, and came into my mind the trial by fire, the mystery of Alilat, and I made a connection between saving the hopeless and the dark day of sandstorm on the inland passage. Amid the quietude and the crackle of the fire, I stood up and began to play my finger cymbals slowly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My cymbals clanked eerily in the dark. I beat out a slow, pulsing rhythm with my hands, slow and enchanting and enticing, and the people of the caravan were hypnotically held as if entranced as I danced a new story. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I danced of tying down the cargo, clinging to the camel's coat in the whining storm, tucking in robes like a tent, trusting the camel to provide life and safety. And as I danced, my love for the wretched beasts grew, and I drew the people into their love for the beasts they so blindly tried to beat into submission, blindly and without thought. And I realized as I danced that no matter how much you beat a camel, it will not submit. It will not submit in its soul. It will not love you. And it occurred to me that priestesses and camels are alike in this vein. The priestess is one who serves not out of duty or coercion, The priestess serves for the joy and honor of serving. The priestess serves no one, only her own sense of what is just and right and true. I danced the connections between priestess and camel, the knowledge of natural law, of when to lie down and when to rise, the memory of even the remotest bush of thorns, the freedom of possessing one's own soul, the ability to close off the senses and dig oneself out of a sand mountain. The priestess knows these things, and this is why she is a healer for the people. She heals their souls. I danced slowly, caressing the hardened earth with my unclad feet. I danced in circles to celebrate endless life, and at the end I sang into the silent darkness. Honor to the desert, who is eternity. Honor to the desert, who is eternity. When I finished, the people did not move or speak, but seemed awestruck. Anno looked at me. She did not smile, but nodded her head. Yes. I saw her unfasten her necklace of amulets. She took off a small carved wooden camel encased in gold and tied it on a string around my neck. She marked me as priestess, knowing the power of the camel. I would ride into the mystery of red love. The valley is fertile and green with new grasses. It is like a long strip in the midst of high places, a strip which is the bed for a river or the basin for a sea. We travel now by night and by day. The people are tired but excited as we draw closer and closer to Solomon's city, where, it is said, the streets are paved with gold and even the walls are hammered with precious metals. In my mind, I imagine the city glimmering amid the high places. It is said that King Solomon receives 666 talents of gold each year, and that his men and women enjoy a prosperity rarely known even in the far lands of India. We travel by day and night, and after a time a river does appear, and we travel on the eastern bank, even though it is told that Jerusalem lies to the west. This is because, Baba says, the way of the left bank is rocky and difficult and not fit for the movement of a caravan. Baba says that the river becomes the sea, and there is a time before the sea when the caravan will cross back over the shallow waters and we will make our way up the west bank of the big waters. Loping along the west bank of the big sea, I feel something has changed in me. I was dark, now I am black. My hair is scented with the soft fragrance of the desert. I have packed my bells and jewels, and I ride free and simply. A camel-colored linen tunic I have wrapped about me. It is pinned at the shoulder. One by one, the red ribbons have fallen from my hair. My body is strong from the riding. I move supplely from a position of strength. I can feel my muscles rippling, and this feels good and powerful. The simple camel amulet hangs about my neck, and I feel the connection between myself and the camel. We have become one movement. We flow across the desert easily, riding in the place between loose sands and the strip of hardened clay plains. Further west, from time to time, high places rise dramatically out of the flatness. Anno tells me that there are people in those high places, living in small villages, lighting incense in caverns that look out over the sea. The color is like I have never seen. In the mornings, the bright blue of the sea is illuminated against golden cliffs that rise and fall mysteriously across the land. The air is so dry in this place that it cracks my lips and burns my lungs. Ano gives me red ointment for my lips made of oxbat and blood, and this makes me feel sensual. I am not the same. I cannot say what is different. It is as if the child in me has danced away and a goddess woman has danced in, lithe and supple, sleek and simple. Oh, for the beauty of life. We swim in the sea and purify ourselves. We shake out our hair and we comb it out. It flows around us softly, beautifully, and it is as if we are all softer, more beautiful for the hardship of our ride. At the far end of the sea, we turn inland to follow the route that leads through the hills and cliffs. There is a settlement here. Strange. But then I have seen strange things upon this journey. Where the path turns in, there is a spiritual community, and this community houses us for 2 days and nights as we prepare with the guides who have come for us for the final leg of our journey. The community is nearly all men, a few women, only a very few children. These men wear strips of ox skin around their arms and heads to tie on little books which they say contain in miniature the words of their God. They wear these little folders containing the scrolls on their foreheads so they will remember to think about the words of their God. They wear them on their arms so they will remember to do the work of their gods. Ano says they tie them too around their middle in places we cannot see beneath their robes. They hang them there to remind them not to activate their penises, for the world, they say, is filled with bloodshed, and the worst kind of punishment is to be born into the world. Their duty to their God, Ano says, is to father no child. The women too believe this way. There is no explanation for the existence of the children. Ano says they imagine the children to be their shame embodied. Still, the children seem happy, running over the mounds of cut stone like little goats, leaping in the air like gazelles. The women wear veils over their faces so as not to tempt the men with their beauty. These women have come to this community by choice, and all feel this as well. They are uneasy with the people of our caravan, with our stores of gold bars, frankincense, and khat. Their pots and jars are simple. They have no decoration save for the little leather books hung about their bodies as reminders to focus their attention on the word of their God. Their God lives in the land of death, above the caves, in the highest peaks of the highest places. Ano says their caves are blackened with the smoke of incense because they believe their God can be seen in fleeting moments, his form illuminated in clouds of smoke. They breathe the smoke of the incense because they say it may bring the essence of their God into their bodies, and they may experience his presence inside their hearts. The old men cough, and their voices are low and cracked from the dark clouds they have breathed. They look strangely at my lips, shining with the ointment of fat and blood, and I can feel these old men want me, even though their sacred vow is to the death god, the one who will grant them the gift of death without return. They are uneasy, too, with Solomon's emissaries, the ones who meet us to take us west to Jerusalem. The emissaries come on stallions, the most glorious steeds, black as night, white as the sands in the inlet of the Red Sea. The horses are a special breed, bred for climbing, running, and enduring, bred too for loving. They are not like camels, but are the friends of their riders. They gallop across the valley when the rider whistles. Oh, what magic! Oh, what a broad place is this world! Like the rising sun, our caravan enters Jerusalem from the east. From a far distance, I can see that the wall is not gold or even metal. It is not even completed. Mounds of stone stand everywhere. Neither is the road we travel paved with gold. It is dusty and dry with use, hardened by heavy carriage loads brought from the mountains and sea. The east gate is nearly constructed, and it looks as if it will be magnificent when it is finished. But the city is not glittering as I thought. It is all stone masonry and painted clay, beautiful, but nowhere near golden. We pass under the east gate. In the middle of the crossbeam is a carved disc with rays like a sun, with two huge wings stretching out to either side, as if the sun is a bird with wings. It is like the sun flying through the sky, and I wonder for a moment if the sun does have wings. I've never thought about how it crosses the sky. The brood camels are kept by the gate. The rest of our caravan is led through the streets, past new-looking houses and the quarter of the dead. Then we arrive at the quarter of the palace of King Solomon. There, our camels and stores are tended. The women are led to special chambers which have been prepared for our arrival. I do not know where Baba and the men go. Ano and I stand in a yard under the streaming Jerusalem sun before a row of connected chambers. Two lovely women, soft in movement, full of grace, emerge from the dark doorway of a whitewashed building. The doorway is decorated with a wooden frame, and the sides of the frame are painted with a network of pomegranates. Above the door, an Egyptian goddess kneels, her wings spreading out so as if to encompass all who enter. Her two-cobra headdress gives me a sense of relief. We do not speak the language of the women, but we share some words in common. They smile gently and often, laughing with each other as they try to serve us. The first chambers are simply furnished, but there are colorful rugs upon all the floors. The rooms open onto other rooms where women are chatting and weaving, painting, and inscribing tiny pieces of linen and leather with sacred language and symbols. The women are not all the same, but have come from tribes as far away as Egypt and India. There are Hittites and Edomites, Canaanites, Shunamites, women of Asher and Bethel and Adorah. The women have come from all the high and low places to live in the beauty of the king's holy city. We are led through the chambers to an inner yard which is closed to the outside world but open to the sky. This yard is like nothing I have ever seen, and after my initial disappointment with the dusty streets, I am stunned by the green spirit of this place. I am astonished by the exotic plants of every kind. Palms, acacias, flowering hibiscus, big-leafed plants from beyond Egypt, flowering apple. There are lotus pools with frogs and turtles. The most magnificent peacocks strut about everywhere, opening their tails like fans. The women have peacock feathers braided into their hair. There are exotic chickens and a baby deer, which the women feed from a bladder with a nipple fashioned by tying a little lump in the side with a leather thong. There are babies and children. The women nurse their infants. The girls play games where they throw rocks and jump into squares and circles with symbols they have drawn with red desert chalk upon the stone pavement. In the very center is the most incredible sunken bath. It is veneered with hammered gold. The women, giggling at the size of our eyes, lead Anno and I to the bath and motion us to remove our clothes. We place our robes on pinches. Our guides remove their clothing and we all enter the bath. The water is cool and warm at once, so refreshing, perfumed with the most exotic scent of jasmine. They lovingly wash our bodies and our hair, ladling water over us with gold containers, gently scrubbing our skin with plants from the sea. How I feel! I feel as if I have entered paradise. I feel as if I will never know such a moment again. More women come and they fawn over us and play with us, laughing, teaching us words in the language of Solomon. At the edge of the bath, we lie on our backs upon cushions. A woman named Moonshun covers my wet hair in cloths, my body in a sheet, then sits cross-legged behind my head and massages the muscles of my face with the juice of cucumbers. How gloriously magnificent! She gives me cucumber water to drink from a golden chalice, and I cannot believe my fortune. Moonshun massages my feet with oils and essences. She massages my hands. I lie in the sun with a cloth over my eyes, and all the time women are emptying and refilling the golden bath. A woman oils my whole body with an essence so rarefied I cannot describe it. Then Moonshun cuts my toenails and fingernails, filing them into perfect moons. She rubs them with henna and red ochre. Another woman lovingly dries my hair and combs it out down my back. She anoints the sun-lightened strands with an essence that complements the fragrance of my body and winds my hair up into the fashionable peak of a priestess. She pulls tendrils down about my forehead and neck, and these she cuts with a sharp knife. They curl into ringlets, framing my face like a halo of radiant darkness. When at last I stand, I am given a luxurious gown of linen, which is clasped with golden pins. Inside, we are given a special ceremonial meal of grains and cakes, raisins, figs, and the meat of a sacrificed lamb cooked in spiced juices. We drink wine from gold cups. We eat from pounded gold plates etched with vines and flowers. In the women's quarters are riches untold. We are each given a room in which to sleep until all the tired weariness has left us, and my body, greedy for rest, falls upon the floor. In an instant, I feel the liminal state between life and dreams come upon me. I am aware that I am in a chamber on the second story, that my window opens out over the street, that it is a night of no moon, that it is dark as pitch, that I have seen brilliant stars, the souls of gods and goddesses twinkling so close I feel I can reach out and touch them. I am aware that I am in a heightened magical state. The netherworld becomes the land of dreams, and my soul travels endlessly through time and space. I dream of storms on the desert. I am chased by a cloud of sand that becomes the death god trying to smother me. I dream of men with skin boxes hung upon their foreheads. I dream of sacred scrolls contained in large earthen jars. I dream of my mother in our tent chanting, Alat, Alat, Alat. I dream she is saying to me, Alat is the breath, the spirit moving in and moving out. Ah comes in cool, Lat goes out warm. We bring in spirit, transform spirit, warmly send spirit into the world. Alat is our first utterance and will be our last. Alat, Alat, Alat. I dream of Ano and the red silk ribbons of the child I was. I dream I am riding on the camel. The sea is glinting. I dream I am calling out, Zuleika, Zuleika. I dream men are killing each other, calling out the names of their gods as if it is a battle between deities. I dream the commander is screaming, we must exterminate all the warring gods in order to bring peace upon the land. Yahweh shall rule. I dream the women are screaming, torn away from their babies, killed if they are not virgins, made slaves if they are. I dream I am on a mountain at the highest place of the Holy of Holies. I am in a caravan looking out over the sea, and I am calling, Alat, 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 restore my blood, for I desire womanness to be upon me. When I woke, a long time later, the cloak wrapped around me was bloody, and my woman's blood had been restored to me. I remembered then the dream and the prophecy. You will be a ripe flower, open and ready to conceive life in 13 days. When the women came to my chamber and saw the blood, they smiled and showed no surprise. They hugged me and kissed my head and led me to the inner yard. The yard was like a place transformed. Everywhere women, like graceful gazelles, sat on camel cushions draped with red cloths. Their woman's blood flowed out of their bodies. The golden bath was filled with floating flowers, and only the youngest girls bathed among the blossoms. There were boys, but for the first time I noticed that all the boys were very small children. There were older women, too, who smiled lovingly at the younger. Everywhere in the yard, images of goddesses had appeared. Golden, silver, stone, wood, clay, bronze, faience, images of every kind. A great circular altar rested at one end upon the backs of 12 golden-horned cows. The sacred cows stood in a circle with their tails together, their heads looking outward. Upon this altar burned candles and incense. There were images of the goddesses from all the camps and settlements. I saw how lovely the women were, like the wildness of a forest. Some of the women danced, telling stories with their hands and feet, making palm trees, barren hills, and spice gardens with their arms. These women spoke many languages, but the language of dance was the one they all shared. A woman sang, I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valley. Like a lily among thorns, so is my love among daughters. An apple tree among the trees, so is my beloved among sons. I sat down under his shadow in sweet delight, and his fruits were sweet to my taste. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner above me was love. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner above me was love. I did not understand all the words that were being sung and spoken, but I understood the laughter. I understood the sisterhood. The women, lovely as spring, went into a deep trance together and sought visions that would guide the continued creation of the holy city. Ano was in the yard, but we did not speak. We bore witness to the sparkling mystery of womanhood in silence. On the third day, there was a commotion near one of the doors, and I saw an exquisite woman enter the sanctum. There was rapid whispering, muffled laughter, and pointing, and I heard the words, Bathsheba. How my heart raced. Oh, Bathsheba, how dignified, how stately, how like a great bird you float into the sanctum. How all the sisters rustle upon their pillows, how all the attention shifts. Zuleika, at that moment, I feel complete. She finds me, loves me, prepares and anoints me, guides me, counsels me, opens me, instructs me, and takes me to the threshold of the red love mystery. I cross the threshold alone. What a wound thou hast made, my husband, my brother. What a wound thou hast made in this soul of mine. The taste of your mouth is like warm, honeyed wine. Your eyes shine like stars, guiding me to Jerusalem. Your arms are like sun rays, wrapping about me, touching my heart, like a green field at dawn. Hold me close, my true love, my brother, and I shall hold you as bracelet fits in the throbbing heart of love, in the throbbing heart of love. Hold me close, my brother, O son of Jerusalem. Hold me close, my husband, O son of Alilat. We are one spirit, one mind, one heart, one soul. Light the candle, drink the cup. Thou hast taken me to the sacred bond of love's holy song. Yes, yes, I see, now I see. The child, Solomon, Ishraq, Prince of Peace, was delivered unto the people by his mother, Zuleika, chosen daughter of the great Alilat, mother of life, and by his father, King David, chosen son of the great Yahweh, father of death. The blending of energies made a holy child, the Son of rest, the King of love, light itself, the Sun. Now I see how he loves women, how he rises against his father's edicts, how he fights for the preservation of the goddesses of the tribes. He has honored his father's enemies, placed Hittite warriors in positions of power, given everyone golden grain. The Edomites, the Canaanites, and the women, light and dark, he has loved with all his heart, and all love him as the Son of love itself. He is the poet of the people, the lover of the world, the man with the gentle song, the sweet tongue. Oh, my eyes fell upon his visage, and I loved him. Oh, hold me close. I have loved him as the children of Jerusalem love him. His breath is love. His breath is sweet as apples. His gaze is divine. He moves like a stag leaping in high holy places. My love for him is a mountain goat leaping in the crags. He has taken me into the inner sanctum, and there I have seen the golden room with the winged angels and the golden altar and the ark of the covenant, and I have fallen to my knees and raised up my arms, crying, yes, all of life is sacred. Do not kill, do not steal. And I have seen his shrine to life, and I have seen his shrines to the goddesses on every hillside, and I have seen the image of life force everywhere. Carvings of men and women loving, women giving birth, children at the breast, and he has quickened in me such devotion, such sacred callings. In the inner sanctum, in the Holy of Holies, in the room all of gold before the Ark of the Covenant, my eyes adjusted, and I saw the great wings holding emptiness, the unknown, the sacred power, that which cannot be imaged. The Sun King touched my shoulder lightly with his hand, and Alilat cried into my ear, "On the 13th day you shall be ripe like the red honeysuckle." On the 13th day I was ready. I took his hand. They drove us to the edge of the city. All the servants left us, and we climbed alone. We climbed the hills to the sacred crevice of Ashtoreth above Jerusalem, and it was in that sacred place we entered the red love mystery. I crossed the threshold, prepared by the wisdom of Zuleika and my mothers and sisters who had gone before. I asked him mysterious questions with my eyes, and he answered with his eyes, his mouth, his hands, and his soul. Like children anointed, we made love in the holy cleft. We would make a child to unite the tribes. What is the meaning of a tear? A single teardrop on the cheek. Am I joyous? Do I grieve? I am filled with such intensity, I feel my lower lip stretch taut and quiver. My body tenses, blood rushes, strange pulsations. I want to dive in, I want to run away, I want to open up, I want to close down. We make love and everything happens at once. This tear wells up and rolls over my cheek, down my jaw. I feel it hang suspended for a moment in time, and I ask myself, what does this mean? Oh, the riotous nature of life, living life. I conceived that day. I conceived the Holy Child, wrought of the sacred blended energies of the Father and Mother of life itself. I conceived the Holy Child, blended of all the tribes and races, the enlightened being born of the celebration of the sacred interplay of life and love and mystery, the blended energies of all holy truths. In that single sacred moment of conception, I felt the souls of all the world's people come together under one tent to join hands and sing praises to love, the glorious author of all that is. All the angels of heaven and earth gather, the angels of Egypt and Moab, Sharon and Nubia, the angels of the Sea of Reeds and the Dead Sea, even the angelic guardians of the poor celibate priests on the northern shore. The angels of all the tribes, great and small, the angels of animals and plants, fish and fowl, of all the herds and herbs and heavenly orbs, come together like night filled with brilliant, shining stars to proclaim to the universe endless, radiant love for every single being in every quarter and throughout the endless worlds beyond. Oh, oh joy, oh harmony, oh happiness. And all these angelic forces are united by the guidance of one supreme life force, one eternal being who reigns over all, and the name of that being is love. The name of that spirit is love. Sisters, sisters of Jerusalem, the trading is completed. the gold and herbs stored in that palace, returning camels laden with gifts from the Prince of Peace. But no gift is greater than the gift of love I carry in the pocket under my heart. May I carry this light being with the reverence of the priests who wear the tiny scrolls tied upon their heads. May I carry the light of my soul, the blend of the races, safely home to the tents of my people who dwell at the edge of the world, at the end of the sea. May the Holy Child and I, like Queen Zuleika with her loving son, ever carry the hope of the great being behind all illusion, called by those with voices to pray, the great and enduring Spirit of love. I, Alilat, lover of the divine within, in all that is, convey to you this wisdom, the wisdom of the camel, the one who moves with little sustenance over great distances in extraordinary strides. Every moment is a new beginning. At this moment, become what you will. You are free. Accept freedom. Emit love. Emit beauty. Make amends, atone, forgive. Enter the warm circle of the vast and magnificent human tribe. Enter as a lover, full with compassion, and you will come to love. The loving world you seek has sought your love forever. Night was falling, and the velvet curtain of consciousness seemed to close. I became very aware of my breath and my surroundings, though I had not thought of either for hours. I saw the candlelight shimmering, heat waves rising in the cool air blowing off the ocean. It seemed as if my eyes had been closed all day. Quiet and gentle, it seemed as if Riavek touched me on the shoulder. Yes, yes, Riavek, I whispered. I feel your question. I feel your touch. As Sister Alilat, I learned that there are many ways to perceive the sacred. I learned that all worshipful expressions are valid. Shall we kill each other in the name of gods? Oh, Riavek, my brother, let all peoples be like Solomon. Let us honor and celebrate diversity. Let us cherish peace. Let us celebrate the divine in all, the feminine, the masculine, the emitting, the receiving. Let us love one another and cast no one's love asunder.